All right, the credits are done, and here we go. So this is, yeah, like I said, this is maybe session 80, maybe session 81. I may have lost track somewhere along the lines, misnumbered one or two, but it's up there at any rate. And you guys have successfully made it back to the dwarves with the star medal, gotten them to start work on forging it into a weapon. You've got. I was sure that I wrote down how long you had. But you've got probably about a month until the weapon is ready. Just given how hard it is to work the star metal. So plenty of time to build a raft or two or whatever. Maybe a raft. But that does give you guys time to explore the island some. Try to come up with a plan for what you're going to do once you have this weapon. To your best information, Jakuza's seat of power is somewhere north of the haunted castle you guys found, like way back when. You're not sure exactly where, but somewhere north of the castle, and from your current position, pretty much all the way across the island. But in the meantime, you guys have come up with the plan to go to the sorcerer hunting village of Hythe to try to convince them to maybe assist you in defeating this great mystical evil. I think that's what we're going to call it. The assisting you, not the great mystical evil. But you guys have restocked water, food, torches if you need them, all of that sort of stuff from the dwarves. They are more than happy to outfit you. And you guys are basically getting ready to set out, unless there's anything you guys want to do with the dwarves before you leave.
No, not really. Make sure my clothes are cool and look like a witch hunter's. Keeping my chainmail there. Yep, that's about it.
Hide your book.
All right.
I'm good to go too.
Perfect. Everybody else ready to go?
Yep.
Yep.
All right. So as you set off, which direction are you going? Are you heading like straight for Hythe? Taking like the scenic route all the way around, investigating all this empty space between where you found the dwarven refugees and where the baker's hut is.
Aren't
Maybe
we
hit
at the
these three?
dragon den? Yeah.
Yep.
I'm thinking those three would be a good. At least two of them are right on the way.
Yep.
See,
And
It's just a matter of which two.
and I think we heard about the assassin's dagger being north of Hythe.
yes,
So I'm
the dead necromancer that you found, his note indicated he suspected that they were somewhere north of Hythe.
So I would try to explore more thoroughly the X north of Hythe.
That being said, he doesn't know how far north, and he was planning to go to Hythe to ask them for more information, and then they killed him. So,
Yeah. Asking them for such a thing might not be the best bet.
yep. Right. So as you guys make your way, I'm going to need somebody to give me a scouting roll. So yeah, the first bit of the journey. I mean, it is in the mountains, but it's downhill, so it's relatively easy travel. Before long, you are once again in the thick of the woods. It is definitely like late summer in the woods. The insects are buzzing, the birds are singing. It's a nice sense of normalcy, which I'm sure will be fine.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll last.
You have said that like 6 times already.
Uh-huh.
That something will be fine.
That it's gonna be fine.
I think he really wants to play Daggerheart.
Oh, it's
Oh, I don't.
it's one of those things. It's kind of like when Call of Cthulhu, when I say everybody wakes up.
Eventually, it's going to be everybody wakes up except, and we're just waiting for that day.
And there's going to be a time when I don't say everything's fine.
You
Oh,
assume
we've
that
already
you have woken
Had
up.
those days.
That could be later tonight.
You
It's
assume that you have woken up is something that dreads me. I just assume that I've woken up. Is this a dream?
But the morning travel is fairly easy. You guys have been through this area before. There's you've already seen trails here that you can travel down and all of that sort of stuff. But as you get into noontime, you start getting into unfamiliar territory. At which point I will need a lead the way roll and also a scouting roll.
With pleasure. Lead the way. And that's count as rest for me.
It does count as rest for you. So yeah, Okatai is like he's just loving being out here in the woods. There's a bounce in his step that you guys haven't seen for quite some time. Coldy, as you're scouting and kind of keeping your eyes open, your nose open, how far ahead of the party are you scouting?
Oh, maybe 20 yards tops.
All right. Basically, before it kind of gets back to the party, since you're in the front, you can smell incense, like that kind of like definitively like sandalwood type of thing, where you're like immediately go like, that's incense, that sort of thing, like sandalwood, patchouli, whatever your particular brand of incense happens to be. But there's a pungency to it, kind of wafting on the air.
Okay. Can I detect which direction?
Yes, you certainly can. It's the direction that the chanting is coming from.
Oh, okay. Can I understand the chanting?
No. But you can make a lore roll. You don't understand it, but it does sound linguistically similar to the singing that the dwarves are doing when you left them, like earlier this morning.
All right, more dwarves. Incense and chanting make me think religious stuff, so I go talk to Okatai and say, "Hey, I think this is your forte."
You said it sounded like the dwarf?
It
Reminds me of the dwarf.
Yeah, it definitely sounds dwarvish.
I mean, the dwarf were kind of singing when they were making things, so maybe it's some kind of religious ritual to craft something. That would be in tune if they're indeed dwarf. We can scout that out.
All right, I'll try to sneak in and see if I can figure what's going on.
I mean, if it's a full-on religious ritual, we might not want to just interrupt them, but just knowing
Yeah,
what's
I just
it's a bit
pretending
close
to be
to
discreet.
height for ritual.
Pretend to be discreet.
If you can convince them that you're discreet, you will actually be discreet. So I agree.
Exactly. Sincerity is the
Who's
key.
that
Once you
guy?
pick that, you got it
Oh.
made.
He's being discreet. I don't. He's supposed to be here, obviously.
It's like replacing intimidation with stealth. Like, I am not here. You do not see me. Like, it
It's like
feels like it
walking
works.
into Walking into any building with a clipboard.
Oh yeah, that works so well.
Reminds me of the old GI Joe comic show where Snake Eyes would dress up in the stupidest things to try to sneak in, but he always kept his mask on, yet he always got in.
I mean, I never thought that an iVis vest would be a bonus to stealth, and yet.
And yet.
All right.
Anyway. Sorry.
So Cody, why don't you give me a stealth roll?
Now that we've given you all these helpful tips, I'm sure the high-res vest will really help you out.
I should enchant him.
Holy crap!
I
I made it with my 3 stealth.
See, it did help you.
You're so good. Thanks for the motivation.
Should enchant the clipboard stealth.
So as you kind of make your way through the forest, trying very hard not to be detected, you get kind of closer to the sound of the chanting. It doesn't like rise in pitch or anything. It's not getting louder. It's a very like steady, vaguely droning and almost dirge-like song. You kind of get into a vantage point where you can look onto what looks like a kind of a gathering, like a clearing. And in it, looks like there's about maybe a dozen dwarves. Some of whom, the vast majority of whom, seem to be gathered around this flat stone on which there is a dead dwarven body. One of the ones standing around the stone is like brushing flies off of her face. There's another one that's kind of standing back, kind of keeping a watch on everything. And they seem to be doing some sort of ritual.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay away, stay hiding. I'm gonna try to. I'm just trying to figure out if it's a Yorick issue or a Trestius issue. Are they doing a religious ceremony, or are they trying to raise the dead?
Make a lore roll. Judging from it looks like it is some sort of religious ceremony. Judging from the way there seems to be like kind of like an official kind of tone to everything. And as you're watching, the one of the dwarves kind of goes away from the group at the stone, walks over, picks up this like very like finely wrought like gold inlaid box. Kind of opens it up, and from out of it pulls this black obsidian orb, and walks over to back to the group at the altar, for lack of a better term.
I kind of want to know what this orb thing is. I'm just going to keep watching.
So as they start their chanting again, one of the doors basically puts both hands on the black orb, kind of like rises above his head as the chanting becomes kind of like a call and response sort of thing. And you can feel like the little hairs on the back of your neck start to stand on end as magical power is invoked.
I don't know, but I've been told. All right, let's still waiting. I'm curious enough to stay, but not sacrilegious enough to get interfere.
So as you're kind of like hunted down, kind of ready to
Run like the devil.
So they kind of raise up this altar, or this the stone above the altar. Trustees Okatai, both of you guys can sense power building. Nowhere like nearby, ish. And Caldi, as you look, the black obsidian orb starts to basically almost glow with an inner black light, kind of bathing everything in that kind of like purplish ultraviolet color.
Okay.
As the priest kind of brings it down and sets it in the altar in like a little what you're going to guess is like an indent near the head of the dead dwarf. The chanting starts to rise in pitch and timbre. And then she gets up.
How's she behaving?
Well, they kind of like help her down off of the altar. The head priest kind of like takes the little stone and carries it back to the case, puts it in. Give me an insight roll.
I'm not pushing that. I don't want to know.
So yeah, the priest kind of like puts it back in the little case, kind of like locks it back up. The dwarves that were kind of performing the ceremony, they basically bring out some clothing, like some, instead of just like the burial robes that she was wearing, they basically help her get dressed into some regular clothing. But yeah.
All right, I'm going to go back to the group and tell them what I saw.
All right.
This does not seem like a Kaldi adventure. That sounds like a Yokatai adventure.
Did she look like the things that Trustees brings back?
Oh, if only Caldi had made that insight roll.
Yeah. No, she seemed fine. They held out the hand, helped her down. She seemed. I didn't see any flesh falling off. I didn't see any. She seemed like a dwarf.
Does he look over at Trustees with a "what the fuck" kind of expression on her face?
Okatai can raise the dead. It's possible this orb would have some measure of power such as his.
And you said they used some sort of obsidian orb?
Yeah, it was an obsidian-looking orb.
Either one of them is some form of druid, or maybe that orb was enchanted to bring back the dead.
Or maybe she was just sleeping.
Yeah.
Wait, so someone came back from the dead?
Yeah, that's what it looks like. The dwarf laying
Apparently.
or it was Sleeping Beauty. The dwarf laid out on a altar and looked dead. So, a whole bunch of chanting and droning and not carrying on. They weren't really doing much. Guy pulled out a obsidian orb, put it on the altar. She gets up. They help her down. She seemed fine. Didn't seem traumatized at all. But I didn't get too close, so.
If that orb is using magic such as mine, then somehow it's bound a ritual inside it. Which, by my understanding, is impossible. Meaning the orb would be valuable and powerful.
Do you want to go talk to them?
I think someone should.
Yeah, probably an idea to have a talk with them. Probably it's going to be easier when we're not interrupting their ritual.
I'm happy to show you where they were, but I'm not leading this conversation.
I can speak with them if you feel uncomfortable.
All right, I will direct them to where the altar is anyway, because that's the last place I saw them.
All right. So yeah, when you get back there, they're basically. It looks like they're getting ready to kind of head out. Again, that kind of like youngish dwarf that was standing off a little bit, keeping an eye on things, is still. It doesn't seem like he's part of the group. He's deliberately like keeping a distance from them.
I don't want to sneak up on them, but if there's one apart from them, can make sure that he notice me approaching.
Okay. So you make yourself known, and this young dwarf, he kind of like stands back. He's got like a battle axe at his hip. He kind of like puts his hand near it, like he's ready to draw it. It's like,
Hokutai is keeping his end visible.
Trustius is keeping his hood up
Oh yeah.
and being as inconspicuous as possible.
and he'll kind of makes his way over. You do notice he doesn't signal to the other dwarves. He just kind of makes his way over. It's like, it's not a good time.
Yeah, you didn't want to interrupt whatever was happening here, but we were passing through.
Oh, I mean, if you'd interrupted, that would have been a better time. But you know, what's done is done.
You would have rather have us stop whatever was happening here.
Well, it's really hard to get an inheritance when the person who was supposed to leave you the inheritance isn't dead anymore.
Oh, I see. Family of yours?
Oh, my aunt.
For how long was she dead?
Couple weeks. Took us that long to get her down here, follow her death wishes, bring her down here, bring her to the altar.
I never heard about death wishes that were repeatable.
Well,
How many times has she done this?
just the once. I mean, one time too many, really, but
Is there a priest among you that brought her back, or is that something else?
no. The combination of the stone and the orb works miracles, and he kind of does like a jazz hand sort of thing. Freaking,
I like it. He's so pissed. Where's miracles?
you know, I'm sure I can wait until she dies again, and maybe, yeah. I mean, I was looking forward to having some spending money, you know, nice house, get on with my life, but she just had to cling on.
Well,
Unless you guys don't happen to be for hire, are you?
oh, kind of on a big contract right now.
Oh, I mean, like, she's right there.
With 20 other people.
10. I mean, willing to pay.
Sorry, I've been drinking with dwarves. I'm seeing double.
You can't afford a house. You cannot afford us.
I can't afford a house because she is holding on to the gold that is rightfully mine. She dies, the gold becomes mine. Then I pay you. And I'll give you the orb too. I don't need it.
I look over at Desi with one eye open. I was like, what the fuck is this guy saying?
Jesse's got both eyebrows up. Like, you know exactly what he's saying. Desi will give, like, not looking at anybody specifically, but just give a little head shake.
I mean, you guys are adventurers. I'm sure you can use orb that unlocks the secrets of life and death.
Desi will glance at Trustius.
I would very much like to inspect said orb. But I don't think I'm going to kill a dozen dwarves for it.
I'll give you the orb and 50 gold.
You could probably just ask them nicely to look at the orb. Maybe not. I mean, I don't know what they're like, but
No, probably not. She's a miserable old bitch.
yeah. But is the orb's hers, or somebody else's?
Oh, it's hers.
Oh, gotcha. So she's just gonna keep doing this.
Oh,
Probably.
probably. I mean, I suppose if you want.
I mean, I don't blame her.
I mean, I think that you should, if you have gold, you should spend gold to live a good life, and then when you die, whatever is left goes to the next person so they can live a good life, like nature intended.
I'm gonna raise the eyebrow at that one. Yeah, nature and gold. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna say for myself, good luck with that.
How far away are the the other dwarves?
They're probably like a good, 100 yards away. They're a distance.
Football field, eh?
Yeah, about a football field. We measure things like Americans.
She
All
died
right.
the first time.
Caldy starts, nonchalantly whistling and starts strolling over in that direction.
What are you doing?
Well, let's see how this goes.
Wait, where's Caldy going?
Towards the dwarf.
The dwarf that we were talking to, is that the guy that had the orb?
No. That's
Okay, cool.
That's the guy that was standing back and just kind of watching over everything. So yeah, Caldy starts walking over to the dwarves, whistling a jaunty tune, as half a dozen or so dwarves.
Something I learned from the dwarf while drinking with the dwarves.
A bunch of dwarves draw their battle axes, kind of form up into a line to meet him. This
No, my hands are by my side. They're not doing anything drastic. Just as soon as I get in speaking distance. Is a lady there?
and she is.
All right. Is she looking at me?
Oh yes.
Can she hear what I say if I say it not too loud?
No, you would probably have to speak up.
Do I have to speak loud enough that people behind me can hear?
No, they're far enough away.
All right. What's it worth to you to know that the moron behind me offered us the black orb and 50 gold to kill you all?
She's like,
Good
Thank-
job.
thank you. And she just kind of motions to some of the guys with the battle axes, and they go trudging back towards that guy.
Yeah, just we all turned him down. I just want you to know. Don't hurt the other people, but just thought you'd know. Want to know, and maybe toss a coin our way. He offers us 50.
Why-
5 would be nice since we didn't have to do the work. But
Why
we
would
need
I?
to know, right?
Why would I give you anything?
I don't know, just courtesy and politeness.
No.
All right.
Meanwhile, a group of like 3 dwarves with battle axes come marching up towards your group, and the guy that's with you is like, "Oh shit! Like, I'll give you everything I got to protect me. It's not much. I got like 5 gold on me."
was going to say, you just told us you didn't have anything.
I don't have enough for a
Why
house.
would we do that?
Don't-
Caldy
Yeah, where
whistles and waves the team over this way.
And where were you going to get 50 from in the first place?
Oh, she's got her money with her, which when she's dead is rightfully mine.
Looks like you got bigger fish to fry now there, guys. So have fun with that.
Oh, okay. Well, it's been nice, and he just basically takes off running into the woods, and then like the group of dwarves goes chasing after him.
Colby did a Colby there. I hope we get something out of it.
So there's 7 dwarves and a woman left, right?
Yep.
Anyway,
Woman.
Caldy walks back to the group and says, "Well, now there's 7 dwarves and a woman there, and
That was the woman.
she's rude and cheap."
It feels that if the magic is the same as the kind of magic I use, she would get a bit more detached from her emotion as time goes by. So
She got detached from courtesy, that's for sure.
yeah, that's one of the side effects.
If she went to hell, she should be terribly shaken.
If that's the one that's coming back, if something else might have come back and took the place.
That is my concern.
Can you tell?
Perhaps.
Maybe.
Because if you can't tell, then it doesn't matter. If you can tell, then, I mean, check her out and see if you can tell. I can kill demons. I can't kill some old biddy who happens to have the ability to get herself resurrected because she wants to finish spending her money.
Yeah. Let's go just check if it's a demon. Let's get a bit closer.
All right, yeah, you can get close. I mean, they're breaking camp. When you start getting close, the dwarves that are still with her basically kind of form into like a little protective thing, much like they did when Caldy approached.
Yeah, they do that.
Yeah. We don't mean any harms.
Oh, are you here to tell me that another one of my family members was going to hire mercenaries to kill me?
No, I think we've been through that part.
Oh, good.
Just curious. For how long were you dead?
And she looks over at somebody and says something in Dwarvish. Says, looks like it was maybe a week and a bit.
See.
Quite a long time this time. Oh,
This time?
oh yeah.
We've done this a couple of times.
A few times.
How was your stay on the other side?
Oh, I wouldn't know.
No memory of that.
No. I've taken precautions. Nothing a wolfkin like you would understand.
Well, the last person I brought back spent some time in hell. So I'm curious about those protection you're talking about.
That's something I strongly suggest to avoid.
Yeah,
I
it's not
agree.
a choice. It's
Oh,
not a
there's-
choice.
There's always a choice.
How did you manage to not get consumed by the freaking demon haunting this freaking island?
That would be telling. And I've got no interest in sharing my secrets with you.
Well,
Well, you just want to check on something. Coming back like this may, how do I say that politely? Bring back some host with you.
Oh, you don't need to worry about that.
Well, I kind of do. Not need, but worry.
You kind of don't. And you do notice that the 7 dwarves around you are like paying very close attention.
So I assume you would be against just a little verification?
Oh, what sort of verification?
Well, if you have a demon stuck with you, that will get you rid of it.
Exactly how?
I have lights that only affect them. If you allow me to shine it on you, whatever, if something came back with you, it would be pushed out.
So you would like me to allow an unwashed, uncivilized, barbaric wolfkin that I don't know to cast unknown magic upon me because I might be a demon?
I want you to allow me to do that, yeah.
I'm going to say no.
Is this time for me to make an insight check?
You can definitely make an insight check.
How about an elf? No, wait, you're not gonna like elves, are they?
Not particularly. They're better than wolfkin, I will
How do you
give that.
feel about halflings that are really good cooks?
Halflings have their uses. Cooking is one of them.
He tells jokes too.
How to serve dwarf.
Sings occasionally interpretive dance, although I wouldn't really.
Did I hear somebody wants interpretive dance?
Boom shakalaka.
So
And I swing a mean hammer too. And that's not just a euphemism as I dance.
But it's also a euphemism.
You thrush your pelvis. Huh. You thrush your pelvis. Huh.
You gotta punctuate each thrust.
Kuldi, the insight that you pick up from her is one of a great disdain.
Yeah, I caught that. I didn't need an insight check. Anyway, I was like, all right, this is the last time I warn you of impending betrayal. Just mutter off and wander in the direction that we were intending to go in the first place before we ran into these idiots.
And everybody can give me a scouting roll.
Everybody?
Well, everybody who's here talking to her.
Oh.
Or close enough to see her.
For my
Do I need my sixth
services
sense
for
on this one?
No, she's not getting ready to ambush you.
Did I roll? I thought I did. No, maybe I didn't.
Oof, I did a lot of wits damage to myself.
Wait, what kind of roll is this, Chris?
Scouting.
What? Did I have wits damage? Did we not sleep at some point?
You should have.
We should have been rested yet.
I mean, I know Desi's not the brightest, but
Uh,
I would. Would you mind if I do the wits roll over or the scouting roll over because it only rolled 2 dice,
yeah, that's fine.
and I have 1 in scouting, so.
The important thing is, are my thrusting skills still required?
They never were.
Not tired. Thank you.
I go running off crying into the wall.
All right. Desi and Ryzen and Okatai. As you're talking to her, she's visibly looking healthier. Basically, like when you first started talking to her, she looked like, she was, an older dwarf woman. But as you're talking to her, like some of the gray is starting to fade in her hair. There's like a rudiness coming back to her cheeks. She is looking healthier as time passes.
Is any of the dwarfs starting to look less healthy around her?
Nope.
Okay, just checking.
What about the trees and stuff? We know that Trustius likes to suck the life out of trees.
No, they look just like they have been. They look normal. There doesn't seem to be any wilting or anything going on. Good call, though.
Have I heard any yelling from where the nephew got chased off?
Nope.
No clashing of weapons?
Nope.
Okay. Desi will do what she always does when she has a question about this kind of stuff. She'll look at Trustius. So is it common that when someone comes back from the dead, they start looking better than just gradually?
Not when I do it, no.
Yeah,
She'll look at Okatai.
it's. I just bring people as they were, just healing the normal wounds. It doesn't get you younger, and specifically, it doesn't work over a week.
Well, this has been charming.
Well, I mean, before we leave, perhaps I can entreat you myself and request you perhaps share a little bit of information. I am far more trustworthy than these others.
Are you?
I am
Ouch.
after I cast Bludgeon.
Oh no, not magic.
I was thinking about doing something stupid like that too.
Not Blood Channeler. Stir the Blood. I think.
Notice that I remember that I have walked off just in case.
Yep,
It's
Yep.
noted.
I am standing unfortunately close.
Festius has only these social skills. I will make you trustworthy. Parallel doesn't do anything on that. So.
Right. Well, you don't blow yourself up, so there is that.
I didn't even roll dice. Save cast.
So as Trustius starts to cast his magic, you do see the dwarves with the weapons take a more ready stance. Desi, you can tell those people know how to use their axes.
Axe are a problem.
But nobody interferes with the casting of the spell.
I mean, only a caster would know it was done, right? So.
Mm-hmm.
So if she doesn't panic, then she's not a caster. And yeah, so I'm going to attempt to make her feel trust towards Tristan.
Right. So her expression kind of softens slightly. It's like, it's been a long while since I've spoken with an elf.
And one that appreciates magic. I'm curious about yours.
And undoubtedly more educated than... And she just kind of gestures vaguely at the goblin and the human and the wolfkin.
Clearly. And Trustius can't lie, so he means it.
Desi kind of tips her head for a second, considering, and then gives a little bit of a nod.
Yeah, that track she said, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a ancient dwarvish magic.
I've never heard of such a thing. And I've spent some time with dwarves. The stronghold with the forge was recently cleared out.
Well, there are many types of dwarves.
Are there?
It's an artifact that has been in my family for quite some time. When one comes to the end of their life in relatively close proximity to the orb serves as a holding vessel.
And your soul goes into the orb instead of off to wherever it should go.
Exactly. The body and the orb are brought to this once holy place. The soul is reunited with the body.
Interesting. Do you know who made this thing?
Oh, I have no idea. That was before my time. My great grandmother was the first to make use of its abilities.
That must have been a while ago.
It was.
I mean, if you guys can just keep doing that over and over, it would have been an awful long time for it to go to your great grandmother or grandmother.
Well, if
I've
one,
already lost track of who it was.
if one isn't careful, if the orb is not around to receive the soul, then we die just like anyone else.
I assure you, that's not something that you want to do here on this island.
That is my understanding.
But I mean, if you had the orb, then you'd keep it close, right? I mean, who wouldn't?
That's when
Because
you notice that one of the dwarves near her, like he doesn't have his axe up, but he is holding like a really ornate gold inlaid box.
like, does it have to be within, I don't know, 10 feet or something? Because that would get awkward after a while.
I don't know. I've never checked the exact parameters. I've never needed to.
Yeah, but wouldn't. Sorry. I just figured that, if when it got passed down to your great whoever, someone would have noticed, oh, hey, she was 20 feet away from it. That's too far. And pass that information along to their kids. Like that. Did your family not warn you about that kind of thing?
It's oddly never come up. My mother died alone. She'd
That
had
sucks.
too much to drink and had gone wandering off into the woods. Got eaten by a bear. So one assumes that if you're more than 200 or 300 yards from the orb, it won't work.
Not to be what's the word? Indelicate? Says the big burly chick wearing chainmail. But if someone got eaten by a bear, wouldn't that make it kind of tough to get their body near the orb anyway?
Oh yes.
Does bear shit in the woods?
Sorry. That's kind of what I mean. Like, at what point does this not become a working thing?
I honestly have no intention of trying to find out.
I mean, I'm sure your mother, great grandmother, whoever didn't plan to find out either, but the bear had other plans. It just seems like the kind of thing you should know. I would think. I mean, like, I know stuff about when they're doing magic, like to get the fuck away from them. But I have a rough idea of how far I have to get away from them. Because that could be important to people continuing to live.
Oh, well, I pay my retainers quite well, so they have no great fear of something untoward happening to them. They've lived good lives.
Yeah, that's not really where I was going with that.
So they stay close to protect me. The orb stays close just in case they fail to protect me. Life goes on.
What happened to you this time?
Oh, this time? Oh. Turns out that I have food allergies.
Oh,
Trimsy?
that sucks.
Now I know.
Did your nephew put it in your food deliberately?
No.
Because he seemed like kind of an asshole. No offense.
Huh.
Or great offense. Whatever
Well-
floats your boat.
Thanks to your friend here, he's no longer a concern.
Yeah, I'd imagine.
Anyway, I'll be on my way. You guys can go do whatever it is your sort of people do.
Save the world.
Interesting.
Trying.
Doesn't seem like there's good money in that.
Well, we're hoping the rest of the world tips better than you do.
Well, you know what they say about hope.
Stupid.
She just kind of finishes off that sentence in Dwarvish. Like it loses something in the translation.
Something about hose?
Oh, perhaps. But good luck with your saving the world. I am off to live a life of debauchery and decadence.
Cully looks down and kicks like sand. Is like, I miss the lives of debauchery and decadence.
Wait, can we go with her, guys? Can we go with her instead? That sounds like a lot more fun.
I mean, it does. Kinda does.
Hey, are you looking for a halfling sugar daddy? I'm not that rich though, but anyway.
Well,
But you do make things with sugar.
I do. I can be a sugar daddy, I suppose.
the last time I ran into a halfling baker, things did not go well.
Oh!
I don't make things that come to life. I don't have that stuff. I'm just a good cook in more ways than one.
He sent little cookies with pointy sword at you.
We had a falling out.
Everybody has met that guy.
Have you? You're going back to wherever you came from. Is there an encampment close by?
Oh, no. I come from a small village, about 10 days to the north.
Yeah, it's probably one of them we heard about.
Oh, perhaps.
We
Anyway.
keep missing. Well, I hope you don't have to come here too soon.
I wish you all the best with saving the world.
Desi's gonna rest her hand on Brieth to see if she gets an impression of criminal or just silence like she's been getting lately.
Nope, she's not a criminal.
Oh, okay. That's good.
Sounds like Briette doesn't care about the natural order.
Nope.
I mean,
But if you do get bored with saving the world, well, you probably won't. Heroes tend to be all heroic and stuff.
Well, we're gonna do that one thing so that it's possible to have a life after that, and then we'll see.
do we look like heroes to you?
No, but I just assume that you don't actually have a job. So I'm going to guess that you're adventurers.
Adventure is a side gig. We're currently managing a town, so you know.
Oh, I never would have pictured a Wolfkin as the political type.
Well,
Wait, I don't
Get it.
care. And
yeah, I know you don't.
I'm operating my own pub in that town. It's actually doing pretty well so far. You should come see it sometime.
does it have more than one room?
Fight her.
Does it have more than one room, Chris?
No, it doesn't actually. Oh, it's got the kitchen, I guess. So it's got 2 rooms.
Technically, it's got 2 rooms with room for expansion.
Do you serve more than 1 beer?
Hell yeah, I'm a brewer, baby.
Oh. Well, there's hope for you. Perhaps.
Always got shot. Yes.
And yeah, you can see basically as the spell kind of wears off because it only lasts for like a couple of minutes. She's like, okay, bored now. And her and her entourage start basically picking up their stuff. The doors that ran off into the woods do come back. They are carrying a head. Well, it's like
I don't feel guilty at all.
it's like it looks like your nephew won't be causing any more problems.
One less mouth to feed is one less mouth to feed.
Oh, now whoever will I leave all of my wealth and riches to? Oh, wait, I don't care.
Caldy raises his hand.
Yeah, I'm a little more subtle than that, but
It will be a cold day in hell before I leave anything to a goblin.
Working on it.
Ryzen still got a shot.
We're trying to prevent that.
Exactly. If we don't save the world, it's gonna be a cold day now for everybody.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, they basically pack up and start heading out.
Which direction?
If Caldy had
They are heading north.
thief skills, we'd already have that orb.
Oh, we're going to go get it.
I have one. I have one thief skill. It's called poison.
Well, I do have XP, but I don't know if I want to spend it on sleight of hand.
But yeah, her and her entourage, they like basically pick up their kit and stuff and start heading north.
Once they're gone, I'm gonna take a look at the altar.
Okay.
And I'll keep an eye out where that box goes. Because I assume the gem goes in the box. Or the orb.
The orb has been in the box pretty much the whole time ever since she was raised.
Yeah, I'm just trying to keep track of who has the box.
Yeah, one of
For
her
future
one
reference.
of her minions. Alright. So yes, checking over the altar. Give me. Let's call it an insight roll. Right.
I kind of want to desecrate the altar and desecrate the area and just mash the altar.
I mean, Caldy, we might need that if for some reason that orb ends up in orbit session. You know, things happen.
So as Kaldi and Okta, as you guys kind of look over this orb, this like stone slab altar. It's weird. Like you start kind of like examining it from like head to tail, as it were. And there's like some carvings and stuff in it, but as you kind of like make your eye line kind of like moves down from head to toe of the altar, the carvings on it seem to move, almost like those particular photos in like Cracker Jack boxes.
Yeah.
Okatai, you notice that the pictures aren't changing. They're getting older and younger. Like the pictures themselves aren't changing. They're just like kind of fading in and popping back into relief, and then fading out and popping back in like same picture, different time periods.
Did you feel that she was telling the truth when she talked about her grandmother dying? She just might be her grandmother. The altar seems to be showing someone getting younger on and on and on again.
Well, I mean, when we were standing here, she was getting younger.
Yeah. The altar does that too. Well, the altar is not getting younger, but the inscription on it are going through a cycle of getting younger.
Perhaps the power's in the altar.
Possibly. I could check if the altar is magical.
It clearly is.
Does sense magic give you information or just if it's magic?
Just if it's magic.
What kind? It's If you want to know more about what kind of magic is involved, you must cast a sense magic spell.
Just checking it now. Oh, sorry. You automatically can tell if somebody's magic. Sense magic is what gives you more information.
Okay, so could we try to use that to just at least know if it's sorcery or druidic magic?
You sure can. And if it happens to be obscured, power level must be equal to or higher than the power level of the obscure magic spell.
Oh, okay. Let's try that. I'm gonna bring out my book.
So Kadai brings out his book and starts intoning. And you can see like his eyes kind of like glow this kind of greenish and natural energy. It is neither druidic nor sorceress.
Oh,
It is not natural, nor is it inherently demonic.
this is something else.
It is something else.
Nothing I'm familiar with, Trisius, but the altar is definitely magic.
If it's dwarven, it's likely some result of stone singing.
Yeah, probably. But I
We've
thought
seen them do many things
You
with
want to settle
that
that
sort of
Swift
magic.
just thought that stone singing was one form of sorcery, but it might be different. So makes sense.
And Okatai, you can give me a lore roll.
Do this.
Are there any carvings or inscriptions on the altar?
There's like the pictures that are carved into it that seem to be getting like younger and older, kind of going through a cycle.
Is there anything
Just-
my rune talent can help with here?
No.
I don't think so. No.
Just to clarify, are the images, like, is each image kind of shifting and changing? Or is this like a weird pattern that is just kind of running along?
It's like a pattern that's running along. Like the one closer to the head, basically
Okay,
starts
that makes-
to age, and it kind of like runs down the length of it.
But each image is changing, or it's just the images look younger and younger?
The carvings basically like are like first they look like they've been freshly carved, and then they gradually fade out like they've been worn away, and then they kind of reds back into freshly carved.
That's okay. That's what I was wondering. So each image that is carved in is shifting.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's creepy.
Try to wrap my head around it, and I can't.
It's kind of like my keyboard changes color in a
Oh, yeah,
rainbow
the-
effect.
I'm thinking. I
Yep.
was thinking about the lore check that I completely failed. I can picture the sides switching, but Okatai is trying to understand what the fuck that magic is, and he's getting a brain tumor. The bit of blood coming from his ear.
Well, the good news is Breath did not give two shits about her. If that makes anybody feel better.
Yeah, I stopped caring as soon as I found out I wasn't getting any money.
Breath doesn't generally care if she's gonna get money, but she does care a lot about criminals, and she didn't give a rat's ass.
That woman was
So-
a criminal.
Caldy,
You never know.
Yeah.
if you had money, what would you spend it on?
Oh God. Too
I
young
would
to hear this.
Take it with me.
Where?
Well, once we break this curse of the island, I'm leaving, right? I'm here for a 2-year stay, not the rest of my life.
I expect most of us are, except for Okatai and perhaps Diddy. But I'm merely suggesting that money has no intrinsic value here.
No,
There are
not
no
here.
markets.
No, I came here to make my fortune again. It's been working out great, let me tell you.
You came here because you were arrested.
Yeah, I kind of intended to do that though. One of my employees ran off with all my money. I heard there was great wealth on this island, so I got my kind of framed myself for a crime, just enough to be here for 2 years, find the wealth, take it with me when I went back. It wasn't the best plan, but I was kind of desperate.
Yeah,
Well.
that's weird, dude.
That didn't work out for you, did it?
Well, we got a year left.
I suppose you still have some things.
He's got more money now than he did when he got here.
I've given most of my money to you, actually.
Really? Because I don't.
Yeah, Desi, you spent your money on repairing that chainmail.
Oh, yeah, makes sense.
I've been keeping tab.
I do kind of go through chainmail like water. Thankfully, not literally, because that would be painful. But sometimes.
Oh,
Anyway, are we chasing that chick down or what?
I don't want nothing to do with her. I still say we should desecrate this thing, make sure she can't do it again.
I mean, the town where she's going back is a town where we might end up going. So, depending on things go, we might want to grab that at some point. I don't know what we want to do right now. I felt that killing her because her nephew wanted the money was a bit much.
I don't care about the money. I'm just thinking that the orb might be useful.
Yeah.
For you magic-y folks. But if you magic-y folks don't know how this altar works, then it doesn't matter because we wouldn't necessarily know what to do.
Unless that thing's got other powers.
Or it just does whatever it does on its own.
I mean, it seems to make the wielder become younger. I thought that Colby might need, with lots of respect, a bit of that.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
I mean,
Wow.
it might get you a couple of finger back.
In
Finger would
Okatai's
be
defense,
useful right about now.
you are very
Finger be real fucking useful. Yup.
What were you saying, Colby? Precious, sorry.
I was just saying that you are correct. So Colby is quite old.
Yes.
Goblins are very fragile.
And that sphere seems to work if somebody has died for a longer time than I did. And maybe it's gonna work even if somebody's soul is a bit frail, which mine won't. At some point I will not be able to bring y'all back, and we're probably going into a fight where some of us might eat the grass.
Caldy whispers over to Desi. He's like, I am so old, the elf is saying I'm old.
Wow. That's a rare privilege. You should take advantage of that because I am apparently an infant. Yeah. You're not that old. Probably.
I'm not sure he's that old, but so far he's left like 30% of himself on this island scattered around.
It's how old you
Caldy's
feel
about
that
73.
it's how old you feel that matters.
Caldy's 93.
And he feels just like he's 73.
He doesn't feel a day over 92 and a half.
So you want to try to get that orb in the night? Or do we let that go?
I'm fine with letting it go.
I think it's too risky. We gotta let it go.
Yeah. Might be.
We have bigger fish to fry right now than this, don't we?
Yeah. Just a security while we go fight Jakuz. But I think we're gonna cross that city while we go toward Jakuz. So if we realize that it's a must, we can just cat burglar.
I more or less know where she's going, so worst comes to worst, we can go that way if we're in that situation.
Yep. We might wanna. I assume we're in the second quarter day right now.
Yes.
So I think it's the time we need to make camp if we want to keep pace. So we might want to make camp around here, and we might want to try to search that around here thoroughly. If we find any clues about the blades, what do you think? Like I could make camp, and if one or two of you want to check around, see if we find anything.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, I don't mind doing a little scouting.
Okay, I'll start making camp, and you can explore the hex. Just leave me someone to keep guard, so I don't get surprised while I'm doing that.
I'll stay with you.
All right. So, what are you guys doing in the evening?
I'm gonna make camp.
All right.
I'm gonna sleep because I lost 3 wits in that encounter.
Does Desi and Risen are willing to explore the X?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
So we all have someone to watch Shore 6.
Sure.
I guess I'm keeping watch.
All right.
Well, we can swap those around. Just suggest.
So sorry, are we camping near this altar?
Well, in the same X. If we want to camp next to it because you want to check it out, we can. But
No, I was just curious.
okay, I'm gonna try to find a good spot for camp, but we won't be. We're gonna be in the same X as it, if ever.
So, how close to the altar are you camping? The game master asks for no particular reason.
I mean, since we have the discussion about draining life force of stuff and shit, I don't want to put the tent on top of it. So, a walking distance, but not close.
Okay.
Because I feel
I mean,
that
I'm not against studying it if I could do that and keep watch.
You can study it and keep watch if you guys are basically camping in the clearing.
I have no problem with that. He says to the dungeon master.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good idea, actually. We might learn something from it.
Well, nothing happens if we don't do stupid things.
So we're
That's
camping
encouraging.
close enough that people can go back to the altar?
Yep.
Apparently.
Apparently.
Gotta have the dungeon master have fun too.
And whoever is keeping guard is gonna have a +2 in his scouting roll for as long as the camp is there.
All right. So, Caldy can give me an endurance roll with the bonus from your sleeping fur. Between Ryzen and Desi, you guys can give me a scouting roll. So one person rolls with +1 from the other person to kind of survey the land around.
I'm a base 4.
Yeah, I think we're equal on that. It was a scouting. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're equal on that. Your dice luck though is far better than mine.
Okay, so I do it with a +1.
Yep.
Nice.
And Trustius can give me a scouting roll with a +2. Alright. Let's look here. And Trustius, you're also checking out the altar?
Yeah, I mean, if he can. Well, it keeps one eye open or Okatai.
That would be a lore roll. Alrighty. Okatai, you have no trouble setting up camp here. It's a nice little clearing in the woods. You feel like you're a safe distance away from the altar, close enough so the trustees can kind of like keep an eye on the camp while also checking out the altar, but not so close that if the altar goes kablooey, you're going to be affected. You think?
Just if the altar is exactly like Tristius and draining the trees around, we're not in the circle.
Caldy, you get some rest. You can hit your rest button.
Thank you.
Desi and Ryzen, as you guys are kind of like just kind of searching through the area nearby, and as it starts to kind of segue towards darkness, it's still summer, so it's still light, fairly late. But you can see there's like a little bit of a glow in the like ground level in amongst the trees. It seems to be moving slightly. When you get better eyes on it, it seems like there's a little stream running through this part of the forest, like not big, like maybe 2-3 feet across, moving at a decent-ish clip. But the glow seems to be this sort of bioluminescent algae that's on the top of the water that's causing this glow. Fairly bright, and like as you guys get closer, it's like you kind of have to like shield your eyes a little bit from the brightness of it.
Well, you don't see that every day.
Weird. Bet Okatai would like it. Hey, I wonder if this stream is the same one that goes by the baker's place.
I
Just because
don't
he
know.
said he got river stones and they were magic, and that's how he built his freaky weird shit oven.
Right. I don't know.
I've just never seen stuff glow before. I don't know. I mean, Okatai could probably tell us if this is just an ordinary thing I've never seen or if it's something weird. But we should definitely take him back some.
But I don't know if we should touch it. But maybe we should just tell Okatai where it is, and then we can bring it back here, and he can tell us if it's safe to touch.
I was gonna like skin some bark off a tree and
Oh, well, yeah, you can do that as long as you. Okay, well,
axe.
yeah.
I got
Yeah,
an
no,
axe
you got
now. I got an urge to use it. I
Get
figured,
back
axe
away,
is
Nazi
tree.
gay.
No,
Masquerade.
don't worry, I'd swing over your head, I'm sure.
Ah,
But yeah, I've got an axe. I
the dwarves make that for you?
figured I should try to use it.
Yeah, sure. Cut down. Cut. Don't forget the old timber.
I'm not gonna cut a tree down.
Ah, okay.
That's like a weird thing that druids would probably take some kind of offense to or something.
I don't know. I don't know what Okatai actually takes offense to. So who knows?
Me neither. I mean, he's got to take offense to something, right?
Yeah, probably. We just haven't hit that button yet. Maybe something wolf related. I don't know.
Maybe. And no, I got it in back at home because I trained to use axes because Kogan was there and knew how, and I didn't. So
Right.
I had to do something while everybody else was doing stuff,
Oh,
and while I was
cool.
waiting for my armor to get repaired yet again.
Which one do you like more, a sword or an axe?
I don't know yet. I haven't
Ooh.
really had a chance to swing this puppy very much.
Oh, well. Swing away, my dear.
So-
Swing away.
I'm gonna try, Chris, to use my axe on a tree. Not in a wildly swinging way.
Chris, I'm
but-
staying way back, way back, just in case.
That's fair.
Like put a tree between, or two trees between at least, maybe three, just in case.
Bless you. You done?
I think I'm done.
Okay. Can hear him sneezing. So yeah, I'm gonna use the axe not so much in a wild swinging kind of way, but more in a push really hard kind of way.
All right.
To try to peel like a fairly heavy piece of bark off a tree that's about a foot long.
Okay. Yeah.
So that I can kind of use it like a scoop and get some of this glowing shit on the end of it to take back to Okatai.
So you can easily. The axe is very sharp. It's got some good weight to it. You can easily peel a piece off this tree.
Look at that. Like butter.
Right. You're gonna try to scoop up some of this glowing stuff.
Yeah.
Right. So as you kind of bend down to scoop up some of this this glowing algae, you manage to scoop some of it, and it is nice and glowing.
I was fully waiting for something to yank me into this 3-foot deep stream.
And you realize as you scoop it up, basically the piece of bark you has is essentially functioning like a torch. Like it gives off enough light to see by.
Holy shit. Like, does this not seem... Look at this. It's got range.
Yeah, it screams, "Here we are. We're a target."
Yeah, because we're undoubtedly the defenseless things out here.
Well, I didn't say defenseless, but that doesn't mean we're not targets.
Yeah, that's fair.
But no, it looks very cool. I'm surprised that nothing bad happened, like, something immediately poisoning you or trying to eat your hand or something like that.
Reaching up through and grabbing me by the head. Yeah, I kind of expected it, but glad it didn't. Because drowning is not a fun way to go.
No, it's not. Hey, Chris, I'm checking for movement among that water and stuff.
Give me a scouting roll.
God damn.
You don't see signs of anything moving other than like the stream has like a fairly decent current, but there's nothing other than that.
Okay.
And you do see there are places as the stream kind of bubbles along where the glowing algae kind of fetches up on rocks and stuff and kind of like pools together into like a decent sized mass of this algae. But there doesn't seem to be anything. You don't see any sign of any fish in the stream either, but that's not surprising. But you don't see signs of anything lurking in the depths.
Can I do a lore or a survival to just learn anything about this algae?
Absolutely.
Which do you prefer?
This would be survival.
Yeah, I have a dot in that.
Right. So yeah, you would guess that this algae, I mean, once it's taken out of the water, it will probably die fairly quickly and will probably stop giving off light as it kind of comes to the end of its life cycle. But if you had some sort of like proper container that you could put it in, like a modified lantern or something, you could probably keep this alive with some TLC for a decent amount of time. Like you imagine, like with proper, care and maintenance, you'd probably keep it alive for a month or so in like a modified lantern. Essentially, it acts as a torch without actually taking your torch slot, and obviously not on fire.
Okay.
Trustius. No sign of anything during the night, but give me a lore roll while you check out the altar. So as you spend some time with this altar, it's weird. Like when you spend considerable time, like even if you're like just kind of like running your hands over the carvings and stuff, there's like a faint tingling sound or feeling. You're like, and there's something about the way those pictures are changing that's kind of drawing to you. And then you realize that this stone is somehow manipulates time. The magic around it is temporal in nature.
Oh, it's affecting time. It's not affecting life.
Right. If you had to hazard a guess, you would think that, I mean, yes, having the soul is important so that the body doesn't come back as a soulless husk. But it's less about resurrection and more about just turning on the faucet on the time stream until it gets to a point where that body had a soul still.
But it would require the orb.
The orb seems to be a control mechanism. I mean, you can certainly try it without the orb. I mean, what's the worst thing that could happen?
Do I have any clue on how to even do that?
Nope.
Like, could I put a bush on it or something, like a young sapling, or see if, do some kind of those type of experiments to see, does an apple rot or turn into a seed, or
Like a dead fish.
Yeah, if you put something on it, fairly rapidly, it de-ages.
Maybe I should sit on it. Be right back.
Well, that's quite interesting. Obviously, I'll let everybody know. He's determined. But
Don't
I
sit
will-
on the altar.
I was planning on speaking with my elven friend tonight. She processed me some information about something. Could ask her about it. She seemed very versed in time magic. That's why it didn't make sense when I was looking at it. Didn't factor in time was an option.
But yes, Desi and Ryzen come back with their glowing phosphorescent algae bark.
Hey guys, look what we found.
Ooh, shiny.
Right? It's very shiny. It's very glowy. Like we literally found our way back using this instead of a torch.
Oh,
It's bright enough.
Yeah,
I mean,
there's
I
a
had
whole
to hold it.
yeah, there's a whole
for the
stream of it.
guys.
and did it
What?
try to eat you?
No,
No. Surprisingly.
no. My guess is if we can keep this stuff properly treated and taken care of, even a dose like this one could probably be a good makeshift torch or lantern for about a month.
Ah, nice. I do have a jar that we could put it in with some of the water from the stream, so that could keep it alive.
Yeah, we can take you back there and show where it is. Desi can show off her new axe skills. She did not take my head off, thankfully, swinging it.
I didn't swing it very hard or fast, but I just needed something to get bark.
But
She
that's-
Because
she was excited and giddy like a child.
a little bit, maybe.
I mean,
I
she got
I
it.
didn't.
She got a new axe.
didn't-
How can you blame her?
Exactly. And I didn't want to, tempt fate by sticking my hand in it because it was this glowing, slimy-ish stuff in a stream, and
And
yeah,
that wouldn't be hot, so I could just hang it to my belt and just have light with me.
that'd be cool.
Well, I wouldn't be discreet in the night, but I'd be glowing. But I'd rather see what I'm stepping.
That's what I was thinking. Like we could hang it in the tent and not trip over things if someone has to go to the little bushes room.
Is it far from here?
The stream? No, not that far.
No, no, not at all.
Not now that we have a light.
Great. I'll probably go with you to try to gather some before we go to bed.
Yeah, I didn't check to see if the water's drinkable. I wouldn't have taken that chance, but
Can I try to make a survival roll to know if that algae would have side effect like making the water poisonous or stuff like that?
Yes, that would be a survival roll.
We figured we'd come back for you before we, did anything weird. I don't know if it's magic or natural or whatever. Just know that it glows nice.
I've never seen that before, honestly, but
I'm glad I'm not the only one.
I'm pretty sure that we can take care of it correctly. We'll probably have to change the water from time to time and test the water to be sure that it doesn't kill it with a little piece of it, but we should be able to make it grow.
That's kind of cool.
I got a couple of jars that I use for concoction that we could use and put inside lamps. Probably could work. Oh, also, Tress just found out that the altar doesn't work with life or death energy, but with time. It kind of turned back time on things put on it. And the orb
That's
just
creepy.
preserve the souls so that it's not sent elsewhere while. So,
How did you find that out?
you threw a little bush on it.
Okay, so we didn't toss Caldy up there or something.
No, Coldy was sleeping. That would have been rude.
That's probably for the best.
I mean, maybe if Coldy could get a couple of fingerbacks, but I don't know how safe that would be.
If
It might
Does-
improve his aim.
whew. I mean, yeah, probably would. Hey, glowing stick. I'd
Well,
be worried about putting a person there. Like, would you forget anything that you'd learned in the amount of time that went backwards until you got off the altar? You know?
yeah. I'm not sure about
Because that'd be awkward.
I don't know the ins and outs. I was trying to think about that, but I could not. I was thinking about asking my elf friend since she knows more about time magic than I do tonight. Maybe she can warn me or tell me how to use it correctly.
Oh, that, yeah, maybe.
I was supposed to talk with
Couldn't
her
hurt.
tonight anyway, so.
Let's go get some glowing algae, and then we can figure out who's sleeping where and when, and if we're
Does-
gonna keep that in the tent or not.
Would making the lamp with like a jar and a old lamp would take like a quarter day, or is that a just a craft roll?
It would be a crafting roll.
Okay.
Slurp it into the jar.
I'll go gather some water and moss in a jar, so
Okay.
we can try to do that. And gonna ask a bit of help about people that know how to make things better than I do. If either Risen or Desi want to show me the way.
Yeah. Sure. Come this way.
Sure.
Well, we must. I like Mus. Now we can have a Mus friend with us.
Yeah, it's easy enough to collect. Especially you can collect it like where it's kind of caught up on the rocks and stuff.
Just try to grab a bit of water from the stream so that it has the kind of water that helped it grows in the first place.
Yep.
So we can feed it and try to keep it alive for as long as possible.
And once again, nothing in the stream eats anyone.
Just after a private roll, everything's fine.
So reassuring.
So evening passes. Nighttime.
That would be me standing guard.
And everybody else is sleeping?
Yep.
Yar.
I'm going
Yeah.
to stand guard while sitting on the altar. After everybody goes to sleep, of course.
Takes a nap. He doesn't wake up the next day. It's fine.
Goo goo muck.
We are gonna get a baby goblin in the morning. Tresius, tomorrow morning, could you help me fix this to that? I don't know how to put that in there so it doesn't.
We're gonna rename him Cody Button or something.
All right.
I just want my fingers back.
That was a while ago. Like, that was a long while ago.
You might have
It's going
ended
to
up
be a
with baby
long
hands.
night.
Maybe you'll end up with baby hands.
All right. So everybody else goes to sleep, and Caldy is going to keep watch, sitting on the altar.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good vantage point, right?
God,
Okay.
really?
All right. I am going to need Caldy to give me an endurance test.
Can we specify that we do a little information exchange before those of us who are awake bunk down?
You are free to tell Caldy whatever it is you would like to tell Caldy.
That's why he's doing it, because we told him.
Oh, yeah, I suppose that's true.
All right. Well, I pushed it and still didn't make it.
Can't be good.
How old is Caldy?
73.
Okay.
Have you been lying to us about your age?
No, he's always been 73.
Didn't you say a minute ago that you were 72?
We've been here a year.
Not yet a year, but it might have been Coldy's birthday. Why didn't you tell us about your birthday?
Or he might have been lying to us about his age.
Oh yeah, or you might have
Just
forgotten
saying.
about his age.
You
Yeah, maybe.
bastard.
Let's find out what terrible thing has befallen him.
Okay.
That's going to be fun.
Oh no. Put quotes around that.
So
I love hidden GM roles.
So when you guys get up in the morning, there's like there's a strange smell in the air as everybody wakes up, and you look around for Caldy. You don't find Caldy. You do see, kind of like in a heap beside the altar, a bunch of Caldy's clothing.
Sorry, what's the
Uh-oh.
smell?
That smell would best be described as goblin BO.
In the night, I wanted to try to have a talk with my elven friends,
Okay.
since you know more about time magic than I do.
All right.
She told me that she could teach me about awareness in a dumbed down way. So that was my initial plan, but I wanted to tell her about the altar and see what she thinks about it before things go another direction. I won't be able to stop Caldy in any way, but like I'm still gonna ask.
Yes, when you kind of concentrate on your brooch and have your dream, that flat gray plane, the very aloof-looking elf that you recognize as Felora. It's like, she kind of looks around. She's like, there is power here.
Yeah, we found an altar, and it was used by some dwarf to bring an old lady back to life. And it seems to not play with life force, but with time. It rewinded time before she was dead.
That makes sense. That would explain what I'm sensing. You should not play with it.
Yeah, I didn't intend to. Just wanted to notify you of it because I mean you know more than I do about that kind of things, and that might have been important for something.
Yeah, if you think of time as a stream, and then you think of that altar there as a dam, what should you not do with the dam?
Not break the dam.
Or fart around with it.
Yeah.
It's powerful magic. I mean, there is undoubtedly some sort of control. I mean, if the dwarves are using this to bring people back from the dead, they're not really bringing them back from the dead. They're just bringing them to a time where they were still alive, if that makes sense.
Yeah, they had an obsidian orb that stored a soul of someone who died close to it.
I'm sure that's not at all true.
Oh, okay.
But the obsidian orb probably acts as a control mechanism so that the dam is not burst wide open.
Okay, like it note the time of the death and bring it to that point and stop it there.
That's a good theory.
Yeah, it's what I taught. I tried to think about it, but I hurt my brain trying to understand time. And yeah,
There's a lot of ancient magic that nobody understands anymore because all the people that understood it got killed by the ancient magic.
Yeah, seems to be like that for ancient magic. Well, thank you for clarifying that to me. 'Cause I'm just not wrapping my head around that. Uh, last time we talked, you said you could give me a couple of pointers to try to look at time and around the world. Wonder if we could start that tonight.
Yeah, no, certainly.
Thanks. I'll warn the other when I wake up about not messing around with the time dam.
It's best if nobody. It's best if nobody.
Especially those who wanted to wreck that thing so she could not use it. That sounds like a terrible idea.
That would be catastrophically bad.
Yeah.
We would not be having this conversation.
Yeah. Yeah, I told them not to do that, so it should be fine.
Should be fine. But yes, she will serve as an instructor for awareness.
Great. I'll buy my first level while sleeping.
Okay.
And now I can warn of the danger of the altar when I wake up.
You wake up and you're like, oh shit, Coldy.
Oh yeah, Colby. Finally, it might not be a good. Where's Colby?
Right. So you do find Caldy eventually. Caldy is basically almost like he's sleeping off a hangover in the bushes. You assume it's Caldy because you're like, this must be what Caldy looked like when he was young. He looks like he's probably at about 18-ish.
Nice. All the fingers there?
Yes, all the fingers are there, full head of hair. Still have all your memories intact.
Just smells like a teenager.
Smells like a teenage goblin.
Ew!
Oh,
Having raised 3 sons, there are smells that you just don't.
Taste.
Axe
Ah.
body spray.
let's get
They
a
just
bucket.
memory does not go away.
Let's get a bucket of that algae water and just dump it on him and see if that improves.
Sneaker smell. Dear God.
Caldy, write down your current age is like 18. Wait, no, 17.
Nice.
Wait, no, 16.
You can't even drink.
You should.
Well, he's still getting younger, maybe.
Am I still getting younger?
Caldy
Seems
is
that way.
Caldy is still de-aging.
Oh,
Um,
yeah. We need to move him. We need to move
That
him
can't
now.
be good, right?
Yeah, I spoke with my friend and she told me that this thing was just a big time dam. We should not mess
Desi,
around with it. Let's
While
grab
he's
him.
talking, Desi is grabbing this unknown goblin that we assume is Culdy and hauling him away from the altar.
Yikes!
Jeez, who are you? No. Never mind.
Aldaris
Don't-
Fig, Esquire.
Oh.
And anybody who wants to can give me a lore roll.
Called you Raisin now. Not a fig anymore.
Sorry, did you say lore?
Yes.
I know nothing. Surprise.
Okatai and Ryzen. So yeah, Ryzen, you probably heard about something like this in some story or something. You would estimate that Caldy is de-aging at about the rate of 1 year a day. So in slightly, in probably slightly more than 2 weeks, he will lose the ability to walk. And in like 3 weeks, he won't be here anymore.
All right, we got to find a cure for this in ideally 2 weeks. Sorry, at worst 3 weeks, ideally 2 weeks, because he's losing about a year a day at this rate.
In 2 weeks I'll be 12. 2 weeks I'll be 4.
Whatever. The point is that at some point you're going to be the equivalent of a twinkle in your dad's eye again, and in a couple of weeks you might not even be walking. And I'll be damned if I'm going to carry baby Caldy around.
Not the mama.
Oh God.
How the fuck do we stop that?
I don't
You'd be
know.
wrong.
I'm not a wizard. I'm not a wizard, Harry.
I was not I was not infecting you. Just I don't know what to do with that.
Desi will look at Trustius because he spoke up.
We'll need the
I mean, Trustius has this magical way of stripping life. Maybe he can do such a thing to him that'll age him again.
Can't age him again. It'd be exhausting to do every day, but
Or maybe your magical wooge can stop the process at the very least. Or slow it down. I don't know. I'm speculating. I'm not a wizard.
Maybe it'll stop as we get farther away from it.
That's a possibility.
Hopefully. Hopefully. Let's strike camp and get the fuck out of here.
Hey, Chris, how big is that altar or rock?
It's probably about like 6 feet by 3 feet.
I could try the earthquake thing and see if I could crack
no,
the
no,
altar and
no,
see if
no.
that would
Please,
actually...
please don't do that. I spoke with the time elven mage in my head, and she told me like just don't mess around with it. It's like a time dam. Like that thing holds up a bunch of like the time stream. If we break it, it's gonna go really bad. We should just not mess with that. Maybe the obsidian's stone can stop it, but I think it just marks the point in time where the older died, and it bring it back to that moment. Well, a bit before. I'm not sure it's gonna help us, but like breaking the altar sounds like a terrible idea to me.
well, let's get away from it first, and then
Okay.
I can see if I can reverse his aging. It's possible.
So, Caldy, good news. You get to add 2 points to attributes of your choice.
Woohoo! I think strength and agility are the logical ones, right?
That's up to you.
You just can't raise it to up bigger than 4 before you add your bonus, I assume.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Oh yeah.
You know, storyline reasons, getting younger, strength and agility are the things that would go up. That's why his age is why I picked the lowest I could with those two things.
Makes sense. Yeah, I had a moment of like, what if his agility is very high? No, Cody's agility is not very high.
Now Ryzen's kind of looking at the stone, looking at Caldy, looking at the stone with a look of, maybe it's not such a bad idea, considering I'm getting it to be an old fart, too. Yeah. Then I shake my head. No. Maybe
Don't do
after.
it, Caldy.
Maybe after Jacuz. Think of how much more thrusting I could do if I was younger. No, can't. No, not now.
Dear
Later.
God.
Maybe after.
Your opportunities for thrusting is about the same as Caldy's opportunities to spend money.
There'll always be time
You're
for
all
thrusting.
very excited about things you can't do.
I can thrust plenty fine. Let me show you.
Nope. No interpretive dance on the trail. None.
Would dispel magic be able to stop the thing from going forward?
Only one way to find out.
Do I sense magic being active on him?
No. More importantly, since magic, you can determine when magic is happening.
Mhm.
This magic has already happened.
Okay, he's just feeling the effect.
Yep. But everybody can roll for their food and water as you discuss Caldy's predicament over breakfast.
Can we eat as we're walking away?
Sure.
I would
Good.
have slept too.
And those of you who slept can hit rest as well.
those points that I got, since I lost a point of strength in my endurance, or sorry, in that endurance roll, does that count as 2 points lost out of the 3 now?
Oh, you are fully rested. You are
All right.
You are full of piss and vinegar.
Well, one of those things.
But yes, the realization that that Caldi will slowly de-age into nothingness, and perhaps more importantly, de-age into the fact that he's an actual burden and can't go adventuring.
I mean, I would have dropped him at the village so he can be raised back up. But if he's just gonna keep getting younger, that's not even an option.
I can mitigate it. It'll be
Yeah,
uncomfortable, but
You can age him up with one of your spell. I think we talked about it for the Griffin.
So it's a year a day. Can you like age me 50 years?
it's dangerous to try, but yes.
What number is not too dangerous to try?
0.
Okay.
It's very
Do you need any
powerful magic,
willpower? Because I'm full up.
depending on how many years you'd want me to attempt. Yes.
I'm thinking good 30 or 40.
All right. This will be uncomfortable.
Enjoy it.
How much willpower do you need from me?
Take
Once it's that level,
4.
You can take all of it.
Oh, I could
and I
fit
think
4.
Moon will.
4?
Yeah, I gotta cast a spell though. Just in case things go boom.
I'm gonna give you some space.
Trusty starts getting that look in his face. Everybody just backs up.
Oh, this is arm's length, so Coley
A
has to be
good
close.
solid week. If that be
What's the ingredient on this thing?
For which? For transfer?
Drop them a blow. It's easy for me to get.
So-
It doesn't matter. I only need 1 power level, I think. So
people
whammies.
tablet,
Oh, whammies! This is not boding well for the big spell.
Well, get it over with, right?
Ooh, spell unleashes demonic visions, which inflict 1 point of damage to your wits.
Good tricks.
But the spell does work.
All right, I'm gonna take 5 of them.
Okay. So yeah, as you started toning this magic, the realization that if you accidentally put too much power into this, it is possible to age Caldi to the point where he dies, which will basically send him to hell. And then your visions are clouded with, just what exactly that entails.
Yeah, it's kind of like going to sleep.
Kind of like going to sleep.
That's-
grow.
Yeah, Trestius is perfectly
More
traumatized
colder
all the time.
than
Right?
you. And
And then we'll try Weight of Ages.
All right. Speed up the aging process of a living being.
Okay, what is adult for a goblin?
and that's good.
So you don't accidentally kill him?
Well, and I don't want to make him old again.
Goblin is 61 or older is old.
Courteous.
61's
Walls
old,
are
so if we
always
gave him
up.
like 30 years, he'd
But
be
I
adult,
don't fight
right?
with guns.
30 years would make him like 48-ish. That would put him pretty much smack dab in the middle of adult.
Okay, so we'll aim for power level 3. Now this could make more power levels, but and this mishap could be bad-ish. Can't save cast because it's power level 3, so this is brutal magic.
Mhm.
I'm sure terribly uncomfortable too. Mishap. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Power level's good though.
Ooh, someone witnesses your magic and tells others. Your reputation increases one step.
This close to Hythe? Oh yeah, that's gonna go well.
Yep.
Fuck.
Often,
I mean, all things considered, good.
often the would you hear this this little eep, and then the patter of feet running very far away.
Corey.
Okay? I've hit double-digit reputation.
What does that represent now?
It means
Are
whenever
you running for election as president of the island now?
It basically means whenever you walk into a village, he rolls 10 dice to see whether or not anybody has heard of him. But Coldy, you can change your age now to 38. And because you changed up one age category, you lose a point from an attribute of your choice.
I'll take it from strength.
Okay. So yeah, Caldy's like, the little hunch starts to come back, all that sort of thing. It's like, it looks a little bit more like Caldy now.
Do we feel he's gonna lose a year a day still?
Oh yes.
Okay, so we'll have to do that every couple of weeks
Every couple of weeks, yeah.
until we find a solution to your aging and de-aging. Wow. Okay.
Jesus.
Wait a
You
second.
look-
If I de-age into nothingness, does Jakku still get me? Because that technically doesn't mean I'm died. It just means I'm not born.
There's really only
Do you
one way
wanna-
to find out.
Do you want to try?
Well,
can
if, it gets
take notes.
desperate, if we get desperate, yes.
I can take notes to make it science.
How would he let us know?
I can observe and try to take notes, but yeah. Try to summon his ghost, see if it's coming back. Oh, damn.
You look younger and a bit healthier
I smell better.
than you did 10 minutes ago. Yeah, you absolutely do.
And I see most of the fingers there, and the ears are mostly there too.
Oh, good. You should survive this then. Desi is going to cuff him upside the head.
Ow!
What the fuck is wrong with you? What the fuck were you thinking?
I was thinking I
I
was tired
thought
of having
I was
three
dumb.
fingers.
Yeah, you know what? It would have been a lot better if you had waited until one of us was fucking awake. What if you
I
had
figured
died
you
up
guys
there?
would try to talk me out of it if I waited
What
that
if
long.
we showed up and you were just laying there in a diaper? You think I'm changing your sorry ass? No, not my job. That is
Yokotai
not what I
would.
do.
You know
In
what
his
me-
defense, he does this all the time. Not this particular thing, but
Not this particularly spectacularly stupid.
Usually I risk everybody,
This
not just myself.
Oh, I mean, at least then I've got a chance of defending us. What the fuck was I supposed to do with this? When I was asleep.
Keep him on a short leash.
Twiddle that shit again, and I'm quitting, and then I'm killing you. Got it?
Understood.
I'd like to do an insight to see if you really understand.
Absolutely.
Desi's gonna continue storming off down the path, grumbling to herself.
I mean, they're both lying. He's got to do it again, and she's not going to kill him.
Actually, since it does, what emotion is Caldy feeling?
Kind of relieved that he's still alive and has all his fingers.
And what emotion is Desi feeling?
Anger and worry.
So there you go, Ryzen. Desi's anger is genuine. Caldy seems to be like, relieved, whether it's because she hasn't killed him yet or whatever, but he does seem to be relieved, but her anger is genuine.
I got a copper that says he does something just as stupid in less than a week.
A week?
Game time or real time?
In character time.
1 week? You think it's gonna do something like that again before the next week?
You heard me. 1 copper. I'm feeling bold. 2 copper.
I'll hold you to it. See if you can last a week.
Alright.
Hey, shake with Risen.
Alright. So having temporarily bought Caldy a little bit of time, which direction are you guys heading?
I was thinking north of Height, so we can check, because that's the place I suspect Blade might be.
Okay. So I will need a lead the way roll and a scouting roll.
I assume we had enough algae to make lamps for whoever wanted one.
Yeah, basically, it's like one lantern that you've got, but it doesn't. There's no danger of it going out as long as you tend to it.
Okay, cool. For now, I tied that to my belt.
Okay.
Binder.
And a scouting roll.
And I can rest.
Yep.
And can I learn things when I rest like that?
You can.
That's amazing.
It's one of the big benefits of those talents is because it's rest. You get to heal your attribute damage, and you can spend XP.
Awesome. I'm gonna do that to learn my awareness.
Right. So you guys set off towards the east. The forest here definitely takes on a darker tone. The shadows are just like a little bit longer. The bird calls are a little bit more muffled. There's like a heaviness that kind of sits upon you as you enter into the forest here. You're not terribly far from Hythe. You're like, you could be at Hythe before evening if you headed there now. And I need a scouting roll.
I guess that's me.
I already did the lead the way, so I cannot.
Look at me with the vigor of youth.
Caldy, as you kind of looking around, there are trees that are basically have been cut down relatively recently, but it's not like every tree in a group or every tree in a copse. It's like a tree over here, and another tree over there, and another tree over there.
I make an insight roll, try to figure out the pattern here.
You can make a survival roll. There does not seem to be any sort of pattern to them.
All right, I didn't see anything.
But they've been basically cut down, so like the barest of stump is protruding.
All right. Well, look at Okatai, and again, I think this is more his neck of the woods, so to speak.
What did you see?
Let's just randomly cut down trees. It looks like right to the stump.
Okay, let me go check. Is that was that made by an axe, or does it look stranger than that?
No, definitely axe.
Is it all the same kind of tree? Like they cut down all the pine or something like that?
Survival.
With pleasure.
Yes, they are in fact all of the same type of tree.
From the stump, is there a way to determine which kind of tree?
White ash.
Does this have any special property?
Laurel. There are those who believe that the best weapons to use against certain types of undead are wooden stakes made from white ash.
Okay. It might be the people from Ite, because all the trees that were cut down were all white hash. That's the material that most folks think is the best weapon against undead. So, depending on what the dwarf has been about around height, they might be trying to arm themselves against undead. Might be someone else, but anybody
I'm.
who cut those trees was worried about undead.
What if he cut them down so they could make stakes from them?
Possibly too. If I had done something like that and I don't want people to have weapon like that, I would have burned them. We might find a big place where it was burned down.
I mean, since he was outside the town anyway.
Yeah.
Where the trees are. That's
We
what
could-
I would have done. But
We can get to Ite quite fast, but I would try to survey this place. See if we can find any traces or clues about the whereabouts of those ghost dagger. Depends on if you want to sleep in height or not.
no.
So what I propose is we make camps here, so we can go to height and fall back to camp.
Make camp explore the immediate area.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
That way we can explore while the light is up, and we have a place to fall back once we've talked with the people of height. And we can explore here, try to see if we find any traces or clue about those daggers. And maybe what happened to all those white hash. Maybe we can find some traces in the ground of people pulling the tree in a direction. If they're bringing them to height, it will give us our answer. If they're bringing them somewhere else, it might give us another.
All right.
I'll start working on camp. If you want to stand guard and look around, explore the place.
So everybody who's exploring can give me a scouting roll.
This is evening, so I'm resting. I take it.
This is actually only afternoon.
Yeah, you
Oh
can.
yeah. Well, then I'll take a look. I'll take a scout too.
I'll stay with Okatai.
Okay.
Can I keep watch on the scouts?
I'll assume that you're with them. Yes.
I have a certain lack of faith in people's ability to stay out of trouble. Can't imagine who I'm talking about. Must be everybody.
Yeah, yeah, Risen.
Can't believe she's mad after 80 sessions of him doing this.
I mean, if we're
This
not
was
mad
something
at
she could.
if we're not mad at him, he's gonna think we don't care about him anymore. Gotta be a little
Right.
mad.
This wasn't something she could protect him against. If he had gone up and thumbed his nose at a troll, okay, wouldn't have been thrilled, but sure.
Imagine
This,
if I played
couldn't
Call of
actually
Cthulhu.
do this.
But fucking
Boy.
with the timeline.
That's what I'm telling you. You're gonna have to keep him on a short leash.
He'd enjoy it too much.
Wow.
Not my case.
So Ryzen and Ryzen and Desi can give me scouting rolls as you guys are kind of surveying and keeping an eye on Caldy. Trustius, you can give me a scouting roll for keeping an eye on camp.
Don't touch that mushroom.
Touch.
Slap your hand.
Right. Okatai, you make a camp. It's a nice camp, lovely camp. It'll be peaceful. It'll be fine.
By the way, Tristius, you got 2 bonus dice from me making cam.
Oh, there you go, Trustius. You might want to roll those 2 bonus dice.
Just a little, maybe.
See if the camp is good enough for.
And then roll them a second time because you did push your roll.
Damn, you just don't want to today.
Just doesn't. Trustius is like, nope. Not watching. All right. But the scouting party. You find a couple of things. One, you find a handful of dead bodies, mostly decayed. All of them with it looks like something very, very strong twisted their head around backwards. Human, dwarf, elf, etc. There's 5 or 6 of them. Stripped of anything of worth. And basically just thrown into a kind of a mass grave. You also find a dug up shallow grave. And nearby it you find splinters of wood, big pieces of wood. Pieces of skeleton, bone dust. And then you look up, because between the 3 of you got 3 successes. You look up and you see scuff marks, probably about 20 feet up one of the trees. And you realize that something with tremendous strength dug the coffin out of that shallow ground and basically threw it at the tree and shattered it.
Well, we've met a giant. Maybe there was a giant? An ogre?
But why would they bother digging up a coffin?
Treasure hunting?
I mean, maybe. And you said there's just dust and bits of bone?
Yep, there's the kind of the mass grave you found with the half a dozen or so bodies with their heads twisted around backwards. But over kind of near the shallow grave you found is the shattered remnants of a coffin and the inhabitant of the coffin. Coincidentally, this is slightly north of Hythe.
I wonder why we were pulling stakes out of ash trees.
Are there tracks, footprints, Chris?
Give me a survival roll.
No, I'm not pushing.
There are a bunch of tracks, but none that you can definitively follow. Meanwhile, back at the camp, All is quiet. So, does he have something?
I was just gonna see if I could find anything that enough of a piece of coffin or the hole where the coffin had been to see like how big it was, if it was goblin sized or if it was like giant sized or something.
Definitely human-sized, within like normal human parameters.
And all the bodies were human?
Human, wolfkin, like typical, like what you would consider to be an adventuring party. But since you're checking over the bodies, why does he give me a scouting roll?
Because I'm bad at it.
And yet,
Oh. And yet.
So Desi, as you're kind of like looking over these bodies, like it's definitely your best guess would be this would be like a party of adventurers. Like, you know, there's the token human, there's the wolfkin, there's the halfling, like, you know, typical adventuring party. Like I said, all of them, their heads have been twisted around backwards. Their bodies are in like a great state of decay. They've been dead for a little bit out here in the wilds. What you notice, though, is that on some of them, there are 2 very precise puncture wounds on their necks.
I knew it.
Oh dear. Well, that can't be good.
Nope. But that is where we will leave it for today. The realization that these folks were probably killed by vampires, you're not terribly far from Hythe, and the sun is going to be down in about 6 hours.
Outstanding. All good news.
This is fine.
I just learned a spell for that. Let me look at what happened in the past.
Right. Yeah, great time for that spell. XP, did you participate in the game session? Yes. Travel through at least 1 hex on the game map? Yes. Discover new adventure site? No. Defeat 1 or more monsters? No. Find a treasure? You didn't take the orb, so no.
We showed that moss.
You did show that moss. The moss.
I'm
We're
honestly
showing it the world.
I'm really happy about the moss. Like, the orb was cool, but I'm happy about the moss.
I'm happy
gotta-
that nothing dragged me into the stream with the moss.
I mean, I got a moss friend now tied to my belt. I like glowing things.
I'm looking up what the value of the moss is.
Oh.
If that's so help me, if that's a gold piece.
You guys do actually have enough moss that it's worth 1.5 gold.
Nice.
Holy cow. Nice.
Well, it's basically a torch that lasts for a month that you don't have to roll for.
I would have paid a
mean,
gold for that.
Yeah.
So yes, so you did find a treasure worth 1 gold or more.
Go moss.
Build a function, no. Activate pride, no. Suffer from dark secret, no. Because Cully really needs to pick up dark secret. Like, we'll lick the rock.
I mean, it's kind of a sting.
Unfortunately.
Nobody risked their life for another PC.
Tully risked his life for himself.
I mean, I dropped 2 level 3 spells.
That's not really risking your life.
It's freaking everything.
It literally has a thing on the chart that says you die.
And we're very
But yeah,
glad
I
you
just-
didn't do it.
You didn't deliberately try to like mishap.
No, I did not.
Any
I kept the magic as low as possible.
any extraordinary actions or cool things that you think are worth XP?
Or incredibly stupid things.
I mean, we should give XP for incredibly stupid thing that make the story go along. It makes good story. It's dumb in character, but
Can you imagine Caldy and Call of Cthulhu? It'd be so fun.
It'd be over so fast. Oh look, Keldy summoned Cthulhu. Great.
So yeah, I'm fine with giving Caldy the XP for.
Yeah, me too.
Yep. I'm good with that.
Extraordinary stupidity.
The
Desi is genuinely.
That was
angry.
quality dumbassery.
The fact that he did it at night when everyone else was asleep. So like even no matter what, like no one was awake to yank him off.
That's how he always does it.
Or but normally like there's a chance that Caldy will be able to yell and Desi will wake up and go to his rescue. Or
Oh, yeah. There was a chance Cully was
No.
going to yell because he was being infant and his diaper needed changing.
We had built up. And he was in a cocoon
Yeah.
from spiders and paralyzed, and we had to go find him.
that's true. Yeah, they were wasps, I think.
yeah, I rolled percentile dice to see the percentage by which Caldy de-aged before you found him.
I thought it was a number of years, so if you rolled more than his age, he was gone.
No,
I mean,
but if I'd rolled really high on percentage dice, it would have been the majority of his life he's de-aged, and then you'd have baby Caldy.
no, we would not.
But then I realized we don't have a shop to sell like merch, so
Yeah. I mean, you remember I drew the line at baby cats with human face.
Yep.
So I think baby Goldie is past the cat with baby human face.
I think it was a year ago that I mentioned plush Caldy toy.
We did.
Alright.
We did.
So that looks like it's going to be 3 XP and then 4 for Caldy. But I am not going to give XP for
Thanks.
stupid things all the time.
No, just impressive
Just the
things.
extraordinarily stupid. Because that was extraordinarily stupid.
I loved
That
every
was
second of
above
it.
and beyond.
It moved the story along, so I'm willing to give the extra to put my.
I
vote
loved it,
in.
and I would do it again.
I was
What do you
like,
mean would? You will do it again. There's no would. It's will.
It's will because you're still de-aging.
we made a bet about it. Depends on if it's a week or more. Not
That's
if you're
true.
gonna do it, just if it's gonna be a week or more.
I was like, I don't like if you guys didn't have weight of ages. I'm like, are they going to go after the orb to try to control it? That's a lot of doors of the axe mastery as a talent.
Yeah, that's why I was like,
Yeah, I saw the axe. I was not sure. Axe.
Look at this way, guys.
All right.
We're going to hide tomorrow. We're all going to be dead anyway.
All right. Have a good night, folks. We'll see everybody next week.
hey, good session, guys.
Right.
Take
Take care,
Thanks,
everybody.
guys.
Yeah.
Night.
Good night, y'all.